to once again do what FDR did so well and do what every Democratic president did so well in those years, and that is to talk about strengthening Social Security, not privatizing Social Security.
That's Congressman Javier Becerra standing up against the Republicans and their ongoing war on Social Security. It's a pleasure to see at least some Democrats fighting to protect our seniors. Republicans, of course, have been chomping at the bit to dismantle Social Security. Just this year, they proposed legislation to raise the retirement age, privatize Social Security, and cut benefits. They've even argued to cut benefits and use the extra money to pay off the debt. Now, let me be clear. Social Security hasn't contributed one dime to the debt. In fact, it has a $2.5 trillion surplus. Now, anyone who tells you otherwise is a flat-out liar. But of course, they're banking that you don't know that, which is why they're pushing for Social Security cuts to be part of those debt ceiling negotiations. Senator Kay Bailey Hutchinson said just last night, quote, "I don't think we can wait, and I do think it should be part of the overall debate on raising the debt limit." Now, that's an absurd idea, but it turns out Hutchinson and her Republican colleagues are getting paid by the Koch brothers to push this nonsense. Check out this excellent clip explaining how from Brave New Films.
What the Koch brothers want to do is destroy Social Security because Social Security is a federal government program that has been enormously successful. The Koch brothers are funding think tanks and other organizations which are spreading an enormous amount of disinformation about Social Security. They are very, very good in getting on television.
Raising the retirement age.
I would increase the retirement age.
You would probably have to increase the retirement age. The real risk is Social Security running out of money.
Social Security going bankrupt.
Social Security already bankrupt.
Social Security is going bankrupt. I like the idea of personal accounts.
The option of investing 1/3 of their Social Security payroll taxes into personal retirement accounts.
The Koch brothers' job is to do everything they can to dismember government in general. And if you could destroy Social Security, you will have gone a long way forward in that effort.
That was, of course, narrated by Senator Bernie Sanders. Now, understand, if they privatize Social Security, Wall Street makes more money at your expense. If they cut your benefits, then they give more tax breaks to the very rich, like the Koch brothers. Don't let anyone, Republican or Democrat, touch your Social Security. You paid into it your whole life. Raising the retirement age is an enormous cut to your benefits. You should throw every bum who suggests that right out of office. That's my opinion. Let's get somebody else in here. Actually, in fact, the person who called him out in the first place, Emmy and Peabody Award-winning producer Robert Greenwald of Brave New Films. He's behind that clip you just saw there. Robert, that was excellent because it showed exactly where the money's coming from and exactly where it's going. So first, break it down for me. Tell me about the think tanks, the media, and the politicians. How do they work in coordination to push out this message?
Well, it took us several months of research at Brave New Foundation to find all of these clips, Cenk. But what Jeff and Joseph and Layla did was they really showed us how an echo chamber works. I mean, we can talk about a conservative right-wing echo chamber all day long, but when you see in the video, it starts with ideas at a think tank, then which they fund, then it goes to pundits who they fund, then it goes to activists who they fund, and then the exact same words come out of elected officials' mouths. It's quite brilliant and it's quite strategic in terms of their funding and organizing right across the spectrum.
All right, I actually want to show the audience a couple of graphs that really show what you're talking about. For example, when you go to the Koch brothers campaign donations, you see that they have given, just in 2010, $2.6 million to campaigns, and that's the tip of the iceberg. They say they're going to raise $88 million for the 2012 elections. And then when you go to the think tanks that they fund, look at this, all this money. They gave $13.6 million to Cato Institute, $9 million, $3.4 million, $2.4 million to all the other institutes you see there. Overall, $28.4 million. And then these guys come out and pretend like, what, golly gee willikers, they did some research and these are the independent ideas that they happen to have. And then, golly gee willikers, Fox News seems to love those ideas and pushes them out as well. And so do all the people who got the money from the Koch brothers and our politicians. So you see all of that machine, and you guys laid it out brilliant. The problem is, who's on the other side, right? Are the Democrats on the other side fighting back enough, in your opinion?
No, well, nobody's fighting back nearly enough because you just said it before. This is a profound moral issue. It affects millions of people in our country, and they're trying to hide it. The Koch-funded echo chamber with their think tanks, with their studies. For some reason, people in Washington have gotten caught up in some of this thinking, like they have on the war, of course. But in this case, we need to be very clear that it is money that people have worked for, it is money they have earned, and it is being taken away from them on a hypothetical idea, while at the same time millionaires and billionaires like the Koch brothers get more and more tax deductions.
Now, I want to show you a clip of Kay Bailey Hutchinson. She was just on Hardball pushing the same talking points. Let's watch it first.
I think that people realize that if we don't do something, we're going to have drastic cuts and big tax increases, and people really don't want that.
Now, one, is that true? And two, what are the different talking points that they push out, Robert? What are they trying to get the country to believe?
Well, they're trying to get the country to believe that we're bankrupt. And as you said before, it's a total lie. It's a distortion. And the notion that maybe 25 years from today, possibly there might be a problem. I mean, we know how unpredictable the economy is. So it doesn't make any sense unless you go to motive. And the motive is to destroy another important government program. And the Kochs have put phenomenal resources into that. And again, they're very smart about where they invest and how they invest. And they don't just put all their money in a few ads for politicians. In fact, there was a great line in Jane Mayer's article about the Kochs. They said, politicians read from a script. They want to write the script. And by funding ideas and by funding activists and by funding pundits, that's really what they're doing. They're controlling the dialogue. They're controlling the conversation. And I can't stress strongly enough how important it is that we understand it and that we take action to reply to it.
All right, Robert Greenwald of Brave New Films, who's definitely taking action. We really appreciate your time tonight.